What problem does this deck have that you're fixing by putting a third color into it? I have a quesadilla to make. That, we didn't end up with any Yu-Gi-Oh cards either, that's great. You have a good one, Lapis. Seems pretty reasonable. I don't think so, Anner. This one's probably going to be at least a 90-minute league, which is going to put me close to 2:30, and then I have another half hour to 45 minutes after that of stuff to format. So, do I want to play... Do I want to play Swamp Inquisition on one, or do I want to go like Hissing Quagmire pass? They mulligan to 5. I'm gonna Inquisition them on 1. I think if they kept 7, I might like go Hissing Quagmire pass, but I feel like I want to like kick them while they're down, I think. Those Tron pieces? Alright. Hey, this is what the people asked for, right? This matchup's unlosable now, right? We're gonna take this trophy and we're gonna take this mine and tack it to my trophy wall. Bob Sagnuts, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Banelock, cashing in that brand new Prime as well. Thank you. Thanks for keeping me employed here, folks. Thanks for paying my bills. Untapped land. Ew. So, like, if they draw, like, exactly Dismember, we get kind of punished for doing this, but I definitely think I want to just, like, get Tracker down this turn. Like, get the old gal going. Weird that they didn't pop a Relic there. Seems strange to me. Feel like you 10 out of 10 just want to, like, do that ASAP. I love me some creature lands. We're playing five creature lands. Actually, so one thing that's worth noting is it's not relevant yet because they mulliganed and don't have Tron yet, but I did cut my 4th Field of Rune for a 2nd Treetop Village. Y2K gifted a sub to Stream Decker Bot. Thanks for the sub gift, Y2K. Alright, so let's do this. Let's crack at least one of these clues. See what we draw. It's probably just gonna be crack clue, Thoughtseize them. Those are some biggins. Man, don't you wish this was a Dark Confidant, chat? Instead of this 6-power creature. Alright, so they're dead next turn. We play a Treetop Village, crack a clue, fire up Treetop Village, attack them. Attack bot with its cute tiny shovel. Yeah, Tracker's like so much better than Bob, it's absurd. Alright, so those are all easy cards to bring in. Collective Brutality is pretty bad. Liliana, the Last Hope's pretty bad. Fatal Push is pretty bad. And then Nissa, Vital Force is better than any of the other cards currently in my sideboard. This seems fine. What do we think of this? Would you run Tracker over Bob and Jund? I would play Black Green. I think if I was playing Jund, I would probably trim, so I'd probably play like 4 Trackers, 2 Blood Braids, no Bobs. I think this is fine. Seems plenty reasonable. I could see trimming a Scavenging Ooze, but I don't really have anything else that I want to sideboard in. This hand doesn't have any pressure in it, but it's pretty reasonable. Yep. Look at that. That's exactly what we wanted for Christmas, chat. Wow, they don't have another Tron land. That's really good. So if they don't rip a Tron land, I get to play Tarmogoyf on 2 and then trophy them on 3. Ugh, just Tron things. Let's swap that one out, shall we? Put that one on my mantle. Alright, let's get rid of their castable. And I concede to a bomb here. Whoa, they didn't draw a bomb. Disruption, disruption. They discarded a forest. That means they drew a Tron piece, and I'm going to concede to Ulamog here. It's no second Tron piece. Draw it. Destroy your Tron piece. Draw it. I don't know how Tron's ever going to beat Assassin's Trophy. Oh, Magic the Gathering. Those are special Moto only Tron pieces. They had to give the Tron player something with all the hate cards they're printing in return. I mean, we interacted with them a whole bunch, it just didn't matter. We interacted like a metric ton, really. They mentioned that they were in the stream when we started, Anner, and they said they were minimizing and muting. I mean, like, it's worth noting, though, that, like, if I'd have had a Damping Sphere instead of an Assassin's Trophy in that hand, we would have been pretty well off, right? Like, their lands just wouldn't have done anything. Which is why I think I've seen some people talking about, like, they don't need Damping Sphere anymore. And I think that's very incorrect. Like, I very much understand how good Tron is and respect the deck a good deal. So, like, even with Assassin's Trophy, there's 3 Damping Spheres in the sideboard of this deck for a reason. I think Bob isn't good in Modern. I think Bob's a card that people are holding on to because they hate change. It's a small missequencing on my opponent's part here. They should cycle this before they play their land because they could draw a Tron piece. Yep. Yep. So I get to do this, and I get to do this, which gets me this. Which cracks a clue. I'm gonna go ahead and attack here. And we'll draw a step, blow up a power plant. Never blow up the tower, chat. They always have another tower. So they're gonna get to walking ballista here. But that's fine because my tracker is too big for that. Next turn I'll get to go land Assassin's Trophy plus Tasigur. Just like good amount of pressure. Yeah, could you imagine if this was a Dark Confidant? Would have just like died to walking ballista, never done anything? And instead I just like have this 4 power creature in play killing my Tron opponent? Get it out of here. I technically should do this post-combat, but I would like to press my auto-pass hotkey, so, you know, value. Get 3 looks at a Damping Sphere or another trophy next turn, which is nice. Or a Surgical Extraction. Surgical Extraction keeps them off of Tron, so I can take all their power plants away. Actually get 4 looks at a Surgical Extraction. So I get 3 draws towards a piece of 2-mana interaction. This is the Walking Ballista. I think it was kind of greedy of them to not play the Walking Ballista last turn, honestly. Perfect. Thoughtseize would be nice now. Maelstrom Pulse is decent. It's going to help us deal with the worm here in a second. No, this is, yeah, sweet. This probably locks it up. Because I get to take Worm Coil here. And I get to do this. And then on their draw step, I'm going to Surgical. I'm going to Surgical the power plants here. Make sure they can't have Tron. They could draw another Worm Coil, but like I get a lot of outs to beat that. Now this is the deck list I'm considering playing at the Open next weekend. I had someone donate for me to play my preferred configuration. This game was a great example of Assassin's Trophy being fantastic. Let's pop this out so we don't misclick. The reason to do this during their draw step is because they could draw Urza's power plant for the turn, which then cuts them off of a draw. Also a great example of why Surgical Extraction is aces in the sideboard. Yes, pressure plus disruption is very important. Just like good highlight of why Tasigur's great in this deck. Just another way to kill your opponent. I think this deck had a close to 50% Tron matchup before Trophy, and I would not be surprised if this deck is favored against it now. Let's break the 24-hour record. I've only been streaming for 9.5 hours. I started streaming late today because we took the kids out this morning. So this is definitely gonna be my last league. Play through these next 4 matches, and then head to sleep. What do you think of this 75, Kent? Any thoughts or opinions? People are terrified of Change Elf. They don't want to think about things that could possibly be new and different and scary. You too, 12 to 12. May your Tron lands wind up in fewer trophy cases. Why should I play Ghost Quarter? Field of Ruin is much better than Ghost Quarter in these types of decks because it doesn't put you behind a land. The mana efficiency is less important than the not being behind a land. Onyx, what are you doing? Possibility storming, got it. So I have a bunch of discard spells in my hand here, obviously. I think I'm starting by taking the Surgical Extraction or the Serum Vision. Their hand just really doesn't do a whole lot at the moment. This Fatal Push is not going to do a whole lot here. I'd like to play my Treetop Village, or I'd like to seize your thoughts. Do you feel like stream sniping is something you run into a lot or no? It definitely happened a lot more often when we were playing the competitive leagues, but one of the upsides to playing the friendly leagues is because the rake is lower, most of the people playing in them are just like interested in like playing good Magic or like playing Magic to play Magic rather than to maximize Moto points. So there's less of that type of nonsense in this type of league versus the competitive leagues. How about I just keep punching you? Oh, you know what? This was a mistake. Well, I guess I drew Liliana, so maybe it's not a strict mistake. I was going to say maybe I should just escalate this, but with the Liliana, I probably want the Fatal Push to bin out of my hand here. We're going to see him transmute here. Not transmuting against the discard deck is probably smart. I'm going to go ahead and cast my 4/5. I think getting my clock into play here is more important than getting Liliana the ultimate sooner. Especially because they have the Lightning Bolt in their hand, so like, if I play the Liliana and start blessing her, they're probably going to bolt her. They drew a remand too, that'd be really bad for me. I guess they could have drawn a second bolt as well. Yeah, that's brutal. Alright, well, the Liliana's going to tick up. And I guess getting the bolts out of their hand means the Treetop Village is better. So they've got 2 West, Anger, and then one card I don't know. Yeah, I pretty much just refer to everybody. Everyone is they. There's really no downside not to. So the question here is, do I want to Inquisition? Because I can Inquisition plus Liliana and Tasigur here, right? It's just like really no reason not to. There's a chance this could miss, which kind of sucks, but my hand's gonna be empty anyway, so I don't really care. Cryptic Command. Well, that's poopy. So they're gonna lose T-West here. Wonder if we're gonna see them bounce Liliana here. Because like they need to prevent her from ultimating, right? I could see like bounce Lily, draw a card here being a reasonable play. Oh, that was... Well, that is not what I was expecting him to do. Well, I'm... Okay. That's weird. That was, he made a strange play, and then I messed up because I wasn't expecting him to do that. I didn't notice. Gotta pay attention to the hats, chat. Gotta pay attention to the hats, or it'll get you every time. Alright, I'm gonna do this first. This should be in play and attacking, obviously. I'm gonna like counter this bounce here, and I'm gonna like vomit everywhere. I deserve that. I deserve that. Dang. Gosh, we'd be so far ahead if I'd have paid attention to their cryptic command. Their first cryptic. Sure. I think getting her and impulsing her is more important than dealing 3 to them. Do you have interest in standard another rotation is happening? Yeah, I do actually. I have 3 donation decks or 4 donation decks in the queue for someone that has sent me dollar dues to build a standard deck, starting with black-green and then maybe some other things if black-green doesn't feel good. And depending on how the audience engagement is with those first 4 leagues that we do, I might start accepting donation decks again. So basically I'm going to see how those do to start and then gauge whether or not I'm going to do more of them based on those. Yeah, I will be playing standard at SCGCon, so we'll definitely be playing a little bit of decks of my choice in the days leading into that, but as far as, like, will it become a regular thing that I accept donation decks for, it's going to be based on how popular. You and everybody else, Frost Kitty. Yeah, Hazard and Scarab God going away are great, and energy leaving is obviously reasonable as well. God bless these creature lands. Inner City had to BRB for a second. I hope he's okay. It's like 2:30 there. Alright, let's just keep pushing this up. I've played 1 Open this year, and I top 8'd it. So that qualifies me for the Invitational this winter, in December. So I was not qualified for the Summer Invitational, but I am qualified for this one. I top 8'd in Indy. Alright, blue-red stuff. This is another matchup where Duress is great. Could take or leave Brutality here. Pulse is probably fine. Fatal Push is really bad. Do I want Nissa Vital Force just as a threat? Last Hope seems terrible against their creatureless deck, so I think Vital Force is just better. If SCG brought back the Players' Championship, would you consider playing on the tour regularly? If they did it where they had like 3 or 4 seasons again, I would probably talk to Christy and like take a run at 1 season, but I don't think I would travel to every event for an entire year like I did, because this is just like making enough money to be an actual job, and this would have to like suffer a small bit at the very least to like do that full time again. Yeah, I decided I wanted to try a configuration that hedges blue-white a little bit to see how it feels against other things too. Is this a surgical extraction matchup? I have a couple of ways to take their possibility storm out. I guess I only have 4. Probably means this isn't good enough. They have magic cards. They do have magic cards. You're not wrong. I kind of want another. Might try another Duress at some point in this sideboard. I need to sit down and count out all my ins and outs. I haven't done that since we started really pushing things around. The year where you made play for player of the year, you're streaming. And streaming got me to watch you. I think this was my first stream. I was with music on the laptop upstairs. Yeah, it's a long time ago. This hand's not great, but I think it's a keep. I'm in for Tasigur here. We've got a lot of lands. We need to like draw third lands here, obviously, but I think Tasigur is definitely a keep. Have a good night. The rest of this will be up on YouTube as always. That's another reason I'm going to be done for the day after this league, because I need to get stuff formatted for YouTube as always. I'm going to do this on 2 just in case they have a they left in Blood Moon, huh? Gosh, it's probably really greedy not to take the Blood Moon. Yeah, hopefully they'll have to remand something else. Wish I had access to my forest already, so I could just like leave them with the Blood Moon and not care about it. A lot of our draws don't care about Blood Moon, but unfortunately the way this one has lined up does. So you have Remand and Cryptic Command. Possibility Storm, Polluted Delta. Alright. Please remand me. Yep. Is Trophy the only instant in my deck? Yeah, I boarded out Fatal Push, right? I didn't board any in, so that's good to know. So, like, they're going to have Possibility Storm, potentially, but my... that's really sweet. God, Duress is so good. Duress is so good. Part of me wonders, is, like, the second Duress better than this 4th Collective Brutality? The resource efficiency on it is just so absurd. The burn matchup is pretty reasonable for this archetype. Yeah, I like beating burn too. You're not wrong. I also enjoy beating burn. Like, Duress isn't terrible against burn either, though. Having modern on arena would be awesome. I would love to play modern on arena. Arena seems really slick. I think even with just 2 brutalities, this deck's probably ahead against burn. You just don't take damage from your mana. And like, I'd be replacing it with a Duress, right? Like, and Duress is like pretty reasonable against burn as well. Yeah, I agree. Duress is the resource efficiency on it's really important. Having more ways to like poke through their planeswalkers and Cryptic Command especially. So I just like go land Tasigur here, right? Sign me up. Just like play my Tarmogoyf. And then if they don't have a way to get rid of this Tasigur, I actually just get to start like activating Tasigur potentially. Yeah, but you don't have timely reinforcements every game. You have like 2 copies at most. The burn deck is very consistent. Like, this isn't Legacy where like you have busted blue cantrips that help you do the same thing every single game. We had a lot of people ask if I would allow them to cut the line if I'd play their decks tonight. And people kept offering to send me money, so I kept agreeing to continue to stay up. So here we are. So, as with the answer to most things on this stream, money is the answer. I think I'm supposed to just play this here. Because, like, if I play Scavenging Ooze this turn, even with Hissing Quagmire, this isn't lethal next turn. I'm gonna bin Scoos, hold the Pulse. If they draw a Jace the Mind Sculptor, I would like Pulse in my hand. Yeah, we just crossed the 10-hour mark, and like I spent, what was it? We got to the kids thing about 9:30 this morning, so I spent 6 hours before I started streaming chasing my kids. I'm gonna enter combat here before I do anything, I think. I am not going to be starting at 9 a.m. That's not going to happen. We're going to push that back. I'm going to edit that schedule. Probably going to aim for like noon to 1 o'clock start time. I'm a realist. I understand my limitations. I'm going to bin the Pulse this time around and then play the Scavenging Ooze. Drink coffee. I do not drink coffee. I generally try to avoid caffeine in general. Sometimes when I know I'm doing a long stream, I'll drink a little caffeine, but it's usually just Coca-Cola. You may begin sculpting my mind. So they have to be this Tasigur. Yeah. Assume they're digging for like land and cryptic command there. I said in general, I don't drink much or any caffeine at all, but when I do, it's generally Coca-Cola. So yeah, we'll see Shiny Psyduck. And like there's always people producing standard content too. Like that's the other thing. Like I think even if standard is reasonable, there's a chance that like it won't be successful on my channel because the standard market is basically always saturated when standard is good, whereas there's a lot less demand. There's a lot less people making modern content for whatever reason. There's a very reasonable demand for it. So I am happy to fill that niche. Will you be uploading all this sweet content to YouTube? Yeah, definitely, Austin. In fact, my internet is great. I have fiber internet, so like everything except this league is already uploaded and processed on YouTube, and I just have to go through and format video descriptions really quick. Why would I pick Green Black Rock instead? Instead of me justifying my decisions to you, why don't you tell me why you think you should play Abzan instead of Green Black Rock? That helps me kind of understand where you're coming from, so I can specify or detail the things that are important to the way you're viewing things. In my mind, there are no compelling reasons to play a third color in this archetype. Adding a third color doesn't solve any problems this deck has. Yeah, I assume that J-Storm was looking for land cryptic at the end there. This list looks really clean. All the numbers are really nice. I need a Swiss Army knife. I need a Swiss Army knife. How about if I just like pull out my machete that does everything? You know what I'm gonna do with your Swiss Army knife? I'm gonna tack it to the wall. Well, we don't need Path to Exile anymore. We have this card. Yeah, like enjoying playing with a Magic card, that's a great reason to play something specific. Like, you know, Magic's game you should be playing for fun. So if you like a card, like I registered one Spellstutter Sprite in my blue-red tempo deck. That was terrible in Indy. Sacred Foundry, Champion of the Parish. Okay. What are we doing? Like Norin Sisters or something? Definitely Norin Sisters. Okay. I'm going to take Genesis Chamber because it makes my Liliana the Veil really bad. That was a good draw. Play them Scavenging Ooze. They have Sacred Foundry, Lightning Bolt, Path to Exile in their hand. I assume this is going to eat a Bolt and die. White sideboard cards are fine, but with Damping Sphere, you really just like have one of the best white-based hate cards that exists. Or you have one of the better permanent-based hate cards that exists. So like, again, the white cards just like are leaving a bit to be desired there. Alright, so really need like a Fatal Push here. The Path to Exile means I can't even just like rip a blocker. I need to like rip spot removal so I can curve into Planeswalkers. Well, Inquisition lets me take the path, which is not great at the moment, but it does mean that if I draw like a Tarmogoyf next turn, that card plays. If you want to see what this deck looks like with a Sultai Splash, you can see it. It'll be up on my YouTube channel later. This game is over at this point. Yeah, correct. Cryptic Remand. Sultai decks almost always look awful, and they pretty much play awful too. I think we've got one more Sultai deck in me before I give up on accepting that archetype for donations. Look at how perfect that is. Just like boarded in 6 cards, cut these 6. I can always it's always easy to tell when I designed a deck mostly, because it's just like, well, I'm gonna cut these 6 cards that I don't want. I'm gonna bring in these other cards. I guess Liliana the Veil's kind of bad. Maybe I should leave Inquisition in my deck and cut Liliana the Veil, but that's still pretty clean. Yeah, I think that's the last Sultai deck I want to try, Pikes. I don't even know if it's good, but it's the last one I want to try. I think this is okay on the play. Because this card, how much toughness does this card have? How much toughness can this card have? How much toughness can this card have? Just think about it like in the context of our creatures. That's not true. I never say never. I often say I need a specific amount of money, but I generally don't say never. Blooming Marsh is great here, because it means next turn I get to go ahead and play Tracker and make 2 clues. Yeah, but like honestly, if against this archetype, if humans has like a really massive thing, you're probably losing the game to them anyways. Man, should have been more weary, Norin. Eat a fat one. So normally I'd wait here, but it looks like they're auto-passing. So if my opponent hadn't given away that they were auto-passing on Magic Online there, I would pass and not crack my fetch land right away. But because this is Moto and they were auto-passing, I'm just going to crack it. Porphyros, God of the Forge. That's pretty damn good. That's going to be a tough nut to crack. So that's indestructible. How big's this Goyf? We have creature, land, instant. I'm gonna tick her down and grab this Tarmogoyf and put him into play. Just start attacking here. I need to just like race this Porphyros, right? I don't know, show me a deck list. The actual answer is that like there's just so many cards that can go into these decks. Like there's just so many cards in this format. It's like I really need to like see details. Yeah, Languish often doesn't kill Tarmogoyf, which is nice. It's an okay one. It doesn't means Liliana doesn't die to Liliana. However, it does not block green creatures. Yeah, usually not enough. Yeah, look at that. We're done here. Alright, so is Auriok Champion a reason to leave Liliana in my deck? Or should I have Inquisition on the draw? Sorry, Liliana the Veil explicitly. You have like giant green idiots and Languish. I could probably cut the Veils, huh? You have a lot of kind of medium stuff. Also, like, I feel like the draw we lost to in game one, I feel like is the draw we lose to most of the time, where they like get under us. I don't know. Thoughtseize for like exactly Porphyros seems bad. Yeah, this seems fine. Needs a green source, but even if we hit a swamp, I can field into a green source down the line. Yeah, this deck's been pretty decent, Getter. It's been pretty reasonable. Oh yeah, you never played when Tracker was a thing, right? That is unfortunate for us. I guess I have Trophy to kill this and then Languish to clean up whatever mess it made, which is nice. Hey, Time, thank you for the brand new Prime support there. I appreciate that. Welcome. Sure. Yep. So we're gonna brutalize Sarah Ascend in here. I don't think Nissa and Vraska are similar at all. Oh, Relic Seeker is 6 mana, 6 mana Vraska, right? I don't actually know the full text box on 6 mana Vraska. But this towards Hollowed 1 will do Smostal. Thank you for the bits. 6 mana is so much mana. I can't imagine that registering a 6 mana Planeswalker in this deck is right. Even 5 mana is a stretch sometimes. Yeah, Nissa like has to be answered in like 1 turn or they die. I guess I have to trophy this, right? It's like not close. Oh geez, they get to pump their team. Forgot this card is more text. I don't think New Vraska is very good. She's a card that... So what I'm searching for, she needs other good cards in play for her to generate card advantage, which makes her not good enough. I want any Planeswalker that I'm going to be playing to generate card advantage completely on its own. Seen an untapped land real bad here. Sure. I'm going to get a basic Swamp here, so that way if we draw basic Forest, I can Languish. Feels bad, man. I think they forgot that Porphyros has a text box. Yeah, 4-mana Karn could be okay. That one at least generates card advantage on its own. That could be worth trying. Ding. Just gonna clean this board out before they realize this card is text. Their last card must be a Doomblade, right? So I should have been dead if they pumped. I'd be forced to sequence differently. I wouldn't have played the tracker there. I'd have killed this. I'd definitely be in a worse spot though. That's for sure. Like the sequencing I took wouldn't be good enough had they pumped their thing. Yeah, I think they just forgot that this card has a text box on it outside of the Deal Me Too. They don't draw Doomblade for this. This is going to close the game very quickly. Look, candy. Candy begot some more candy, chat. They missed 9 points of damage with the pump. They had a turn where they could have used it once, and they had a turn where they could have used it twice. Yes. Oh, you're pathing my Scavenging Ooze? And giving me a clue? Can we talk about the 7 basic lands that are in my deck and how awesome they are? We just take 30 seconds and pour one out for my friends, my 7 basic lands. Play more basic lands. This is the deck, Kent. This is the one. This is what we're playing. I've been live for 10.5 hours. So if you got a notification that I was live, it would have been a while ago. Imagine if Tracker had been Dark Confidant, just it's funny how often I have to say that. People just don't get it. Tireless Tracker and Terminus have made evaluating other people's evaluation skills so easy in Modern, because anybody who's showing you green block lists without 4 Tireless Trackers or blue-white lists without 4 Terminuses in them, they don't understand what's going on in the format, and they don't understand how their deck's supposed to work, because these are the cards that make these decks good and playable. Just, it'd be right. It's such a great example of the holdover people have of like, this is the way we've always done it. This is the card we've always played. We can't change Dark Confidants. The cards are supposed to play in the rock deck. And it's just like, nope, that's just not how this works. This card is just so much better. Black-white cars, it feels kind of okay in there. I am up late. It is almost 2 a.m. where I'm at here in Hoaglandia. We're 3-0 in this league with Black-Green Rock. I'm not playing Grimflayer because Grizzly Bears with Upside are not playable in Modern, contrary to what a lot of people think. Stop playing Leonid Arbiters. I'd love to play first, thank you. I was paid copious amounts of money to stay up late. I was going to be done 3 leagues ago, and then people kept cutting decks in. So, here I am, collecting my piles of money. Playing some Magic. What would you swap out for Goyf in a budget version? There just isn't a replacement for Tarmogoyf. You can't play this deck without Goyf. It's like playing Blue-Red without Snapcaster Mage. I would recommend just playing a different deck. And I mean that in like the nicest way possible. Just like play a different deck. Alright, so I get to go ahead and take them as Mirror Orb here. And then I get to Collective Brutality, take their Glimpse of Nature, and then I get to Assassin's Trophy, their other Mesmeric Orb. And there are plenty of good decks that don't involve Goyf. Tarmogoyf is wonderful. I really hate playing Rock Mirror matches. They're just like this giant, uninteresting dick punching contest, but I would definitely try and sidestep them if I know I was going to be playing a bunch of mirrors. I don't expect to play a ton of mirrors in Indy or Columbus or wherever it is I'm going. So, do I take their Glimpse or do I take their Fatal Push and just try and clock them? I'm probably just supposed to take the Glimpse, because like both of these are pretty good threats, right? Because like if they push the Goyf, the Scavenging Ooze is gonna have a ton of food because they're gonna have milled me a couple of times. Look, man, whatever floats your boat. I'm not here to judge. You do you. Godspeed, all that. That was a great draw. I get to like have my cake and eat it too. God, that's a mind funeral. So I kind of want to take the Orb here. Mind Funeral is actually not that good against us. Their deck has a ton of lands in it. I'm going to take the Orb here, which maybe that's wrong since I have this Assassin's Trophy in my hand, but I like that they have to choose between Mind Funeral and Fatal Push next turn. Feeling a little crabby, eh? Oh, that was a good draw. It lets them do 2 things here, which sucks for us. They didn't crack their fetch land for some reason, so I'm going to play this Scavenging Ooze. I'm going to pass the turn here, and when they go to crack their fetch, I'm going to Fatal Push their thing. So, again, don't be afraid to do your things on your turn just because they can be done at instant speed. Sequencing like that's important. So I have 36 cards in my deck. They have a Mind Funeral in their hand, which is probably worth, I don't know, 8 cards or so. 8 to 10. We'll see how quick this Scavenging Ooze can race. 9 cards. Yep, 8 to 10 sounds accurate. So again, I want to prioritize eating cards out of my own discard pile here because they have a card that draws them extra cards when a single graveyard has 20 or more cards in it. So ideally, I'm going to get my graveyard down below that at some point. I think I just like the Scavenging Ooze is a 3-turn clock, right? Like it's 4, 6, 8. So that's 18 in 3 turns. I have this trophy to kill a Ensnaring Bridge if they rip one. Manic Scribe, sure, can kill that too. It'll push the Sweet Draw, because it means I can power this up this turn. Which means I still have a 2-turn clock, so I get to do this. Hit them for 5 down to 7, and then if they don't have a blocker or a thing that I have to trophy next turn, I get to make a 7/7 and attack them. I guess I just attack them with this because they're forced to block, right? And then I can just play Tireless Tracker as another attacker. $18 cards in my deck. Trying to dodge like a damnation here, basically. They're dead through a bridge thanks to the power of Assassin's Trophy. Are you dead yet? Good. God bless. Duress sounds great. Abrupt Decay is great. Brutality and Pulse are good. Nissa's like a 5/5 with haste, so I think she's probably great. Liliana the Veil can attack their hand nicely. Maybe that's not good enough, though. Tasigur is absurd, obviously, because there's always plenty of poop in my graveyard. Maybe Nissa's just too slow. Just drag the curve down. Maybe I don't want all these fatal pushes. I have trophies and Pulse and Collective Brutalities to kill crabs, so maybe I just only want 2 fatal pushes. You also just like Coward Split this. I probably don't ever want to draw 2 Nissas. It's worth noting that leaving some number of Liliana the Veils and Nissas in my deck makes my what's it called theoretically better. Nah, I figured it out. I forgot. This might be Jeff at 10.5 hours talking, but there's 25 lands in our deck. I'm just going to submit 65. I think if you have a high resource ratio in your deck anyways, I think boarding up against Mill is probably fine. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna push this little turd right off a cliff. Do I want to push this off a cliff, or do I want to Thoughtseize them? So obviously, like if I don't push it off a cliff, they get to mill me with it. But Thoughtseizing them, not Thoughtseizing them means they could stick like an orb, and the orb's gonna like mill me for more than that, right? This actually feels kind of close. I think I'm supposed to Thoughtseize here. I'm actually supposed to do this. Yeah, I don't have a good answer for Ensnaring Bridge at the moment either. They can't cast Glimpse. They have this Manic Scribe. How do you feel about take Glimpse? And I probably just have to take Bridge, right? Yeah, I'm going to take Ensnaring Bridge. I'm going to take Ensnaring Bridge, and then next turn we can Collective Brutality, kill the crab, take an instant or sorcery. No, so the problem is I wanna Collective Brutality next turn. If I Collective Brutality next turn, I'm not going to have a chance to take the Bridge with the Duress. Dubs Fatal Push. Alright, well, one of those is getting bin to this. Kill you, thing, drain you. This one takes the most of my cards away. Unfortunately, that does give them... It does give them Delirium, so this Max Scribe's gonna hit me for 3 more. I'm about to be done, Diva. I've got this match and 1 more. Are you streaming soon? I'd be happy to host you for a change. Hosted me a bunch of times. Yeah, get got. Nice 6 cards for 3 mana. Alright. Sounds good. Just gonna be up front and tell you that that offer's not gonna be on the table terribly often, because there's no way I'm staying up this late this consistently. I'd like to kill this, or I'd like to take your last card away. There's 40 cards in my deck. I have a Treetop Village. I'm gonna have a Tarmogoyf next turn. So unless they rip a, they need to like rip a bridge and have us never draw an answer. How long till the VODs from today go live? Like 20 minutes after I'm done streaming. Like 5 minutes after I'm done streaming, I'll start posting them. I definitely plan to format and publish everything from the day before I go to bed, though. This is my 6-7. There are many like it, but this one is mine. You're dead in 2. Someone else was asking earlier about budget Tarmogoyf. This is a great example of just like why Tarmogoyf is irreplaceable in this deck. Just like my 2 mana 6-7. This is interesting that they are doing this aggressively now. They must have drawn the they must have drawn a, what's it called? A Mill 13, right? It's the only reason to do that there. Or do they not draw a trap? That is an absurdly loose. Well, that is, if that ain't all this is cracked up to be. God bless us, everyone. Maybe I'm supposed to hold that. It's late and I'm playing a little loose. Land Damnation's probably they're out here, or Bantus, so yeah, maybe I should probably hold this Tasigur. It's probably loose to jam him. Oh. Please concede. Thank you. All right, it's gonna be the last one. Thanks everyone. Thanks everyone for hanging out. The stream reminds me of the Truman Show, except Jeff knows he's televised. I find myself leaving the stream on because it's mildly comforting. Keep up the good work and thanks for doing this. Thank you for the support, 5-color bed stuff. Happy to be here. This deck is great. It was great before it had Assassin's Trophy, and it's great now. Oh, the little details are getting firmed up. I think I'm gonna try 2 Duress in the sideboard next time. I think I might give up the 4th Brutality. I don't know, the 4th Brutality is so good. I want to go through all the ins and outs and count the numbers. Figure out how I can fit a 2nd Duress in here. Did Durward just sign off? We just hit, we just got a viewer bump. I assume that means Durward signed off. Yeah. McQuacks, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. I'm almost done here as well, folks. We're 4-0 with this Green Black Rock deck, and I've got one more. So, again, Burning Pit, we just talked pretty constantly on this stream about how Modern's a format that's about tempo and resource efficiency, and just like, look at this. I've got 10 cards that cost 3. I got 12 cards that cost 3 plus mana, basically. And just like, while Eternal Witness is a great Magic card, if you're just like only playing Green Black Rock mirrors all day, like there's so much more to this format than just like a bunch of mid-range mirror matches. And there's a lot of matches in this format where you're just gonna like die with a bunch of 3-drops in your hand. To what do we owe this sweet night stream? Piles of money from my wonderful viewers. I don't know, trophies drawback is real sometimes, but honestly the answer is there's a large portion of the time where trophy is just like the same as Abrupt Decay. And the amount of times I've had it like kill delve threats already, as opposed to like getting drawn back because I gave them a land, is huge. I want a tech for the green black mirror. What would my Nissa Vital Force? That's why there's 2 of them in my sideboard. This is really good. The actual truth is I personally can never have technology for the mirror match because anything I play is going on stream, so like other people are going to have that too. Burst Lightning, search for Azcanta. Alright, well, let's make sure this Lightning Bolt deck never kills my Tarmogoyf. It was a catastrophe as advertised. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and play the Scavenging Ooze here, because they definitely have a window where they could kill my Tarmogoyf with a Lightning Bolt. I'd prefer it not. Goyf's casual 5/6 now. I assume Jeff has played all we've just actual all of them. Which decks have we played? Yes. Yes is the answer to your question. What if I just like play this 5/6 and start attacking you? How did Goyf die to Bolt there? When I played the Scavenging Ooze on 2, the only cards in discard piles were Search and Thoughtseize, which means my Goyf did not die to Lightning Bolt and I'm an idiot. Listen, Jeff 8 hours ago, maybe even Jeff 6 hours ago, would have realized that his Goyf was fine. But Jeff right now was worried about his little Tarmogoyf. You shouldn't fault him for worrying about his Tarmogoyf. Yeah, primarily Duress is a card that's good against control that also comes in other places. So like Duress, as opposed to just being more Thoughtseizes, also gets coming against a deck like Burn. It's also very reasonable against Tron as well. Of course, Thoughtseize is good against Tron too there. So. Alright, I don't know what the opponent's doing. I'm going to bring in a Duress because they're playing blue-red stuff, I guess. They probably have Planeswalkers in their deck, so I'm going to bring a Maelstrom Pulse. I'm guessing Fatal Push isn't good. I'm guessing Nissa Vital Force just like takes it and just punches him in the face. Just... I don't know that I want more Collective Brutalities. I probably don't mind Liliana the Last Hope as a way of killing Snapcaster Mages and stuff like that. They're probably a thing in the ice deck. Yeah, actually, if they're a thing in the ice deck, I probably want some Fatal Pushes in my deck still. Although I guess I have these wonderful Assassin's Trophies. 2 pushes probably fine. Collective Brutality is kind of medium in these matchups anyways. Oh, yeah, I think that's good. I think I'm going to call that good. Actually, you know what? Let's bring in this Abrupt Decay I have in my sideboard instead of one of these Fatal Pushes. So let's do that. 1 push, bring in a Decay. Decay gets to kill Blood Moon and search for Azcanta before it flips too, so that's nice. They're on Teamer stuff. We didn't... Did they have a Greenland in play? I don't think they had a Greenland in play, right? I don't know what I was trying to figure out what Jeff 10 hours ago would do, but Jeff right now is on the draw, and he thinks that this might work out. Things aren't looking good for our hero, chap. Listen, there are 25 lands in my deck, okay? Don't you get on me about what's good and bad. You know what my favorite thing about taking Blood Moon away from my opponent is? It makes my Tarmogoyf huge. I kind of wish I could take the Mana Leak here, but it is what it is. At least the rest of their hand doesn't do much if we miss on a land here. The split card is Modern Staple Turn Burn. I would like to dedicate this hand to my favorite band, 25 lands later. Yeah, discard this one to hand size. Get him. Alright, if we don't get an untapped green source, we're conceding. As soon as I'm done streaming, I'll be formatting and publishing stuff on YouTube. That's a lie. I'm gonna use the bathroom, and then I'm gonna format and publish stuff on YouTube. So like an hour from now, 45 minutes from now, I'll be up. Yeah, bring the laptop in there and get set up. This is probably going to be a Goyf dying to Bolt hand, but it is what it is. Hopefully they play a non-basic so I can field. Ooh. And get Blood Moons and feel real bad about it. I don't understand why they didn't cycle one of these relics if they were missing a land drop. I mean, thank you for not cycling a relic, but I appreciate you, opponent, and all you do for me. Please move to hand size. Really? You're still not exiling? Good golly. Thank you, I guess. Please cast a Jace. I think I want to sit on this Duress. I think I want to play the Duress on a turn where I can, like, play a follow-up spell with it. So I can go, like, Duress into Tasigur, or Duress into Nissa, or Duress into Liliana. The reason why I haven't pulled the trigger on a Field of Ruin is because Field of Ruin can't target basic lands, so I can't field their islands. Thank you, God. I'll go ahead and field this one, go Swamp. Makes me marginally better against Blood Moon too, which is nice. It's a good draw. It means I can stick Nissa here potentially. Well, alrighty then. I guess their poker hand is really good. So since they failed to activate their relics, which they've also been refusing to pop, I'm going to go ahead and play this Tasigur here while the playing is good. I assume they're going to have to mana leak this, and then we'll have the room clear to stick Nissa next turn. Pulse doesn't do anything, chat. If we draw a Pulse, they just pay 1 and exile the one we're targeting. So Pulse doesn't really matter here. No. I don't think boarding in Rest in Peace is good. Opponent's as tired as we are, right? That's probably the real answer. You have 7 cards in their hand right now, though. This is my Nissa. There are many like her, but this one is mine. And they found another counterspell. The good news is, if they play a 2-mana counterspell here, no, I still can't kill the Jace because they're going to exile. They'll exile both of their... Oh, they can't. Sweet. Yeah, so I get to kill Jace now. Right? Because they can take both the lands out of their bin. No, they can take the lands out of my bin. So both of these have to attack Jace, right? Because they're gonna make me exile my graveyard, but that's fine. I just wanna take their Jace off the table. I mean, the good news is Sansa Karanos run like an absurd spot. I should have mulliganed that second game. I'm going to bed. All right, folks. Everybody have a good night. I will catch all y'all tomorrow.